What's up everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Nick, and everybody talking about the September is not good for a crypto market. Today on this video I want to check in the Bitcoin on the higher time frame and see September is good for a crypto market or not. Please write on the comment for me. Are you bullish or are you bearish? So let's jump to the chart and see what's going on the market. Let's start with the monthly time frame, and on the monthly time frame I'm highlighting the all September from 2011 until today. Only 3 times in the Bitcoin history we see the green candle. The rest of the time market is dumping and we see the candle closing negative. But right now still Bitcoin hold about the $58,000. I'm not saying we're not going to be dumped or we're not going to be crashed. Possible for a Bitcoin to come and retest the low. As we can see right now on the monthly time frame, mid band of the BB is standing around $45,000. I'm not going to be saying right now we're going to be crashed to $45,000, but possible for a Bitcoin to come and testing again $49,000 or even lower around $45,000. And if I change from logarithmic to the normal, Bitcoin already hold above the $58,000. But to be honest with you, I'm not thinking this time is Bitcoin going to be hold again the $58,000. And if we get a dump, possible to come and retest the $50,000 again, and mid band of the BB is standing around $45,000. If you see the long shadow like this, possible to come and retest it. Right now also is not so looking good on whole crypto market. We can see some pump here and there, but still we are ping-ponging on this zone, and possible for a Bitcoin to come and retest this trend line, and we can see the mid band of the BB exactly around here. So this is going to be a little bit alarming to all Bitcoin holder. It's very difficult to hold the Bitcoin, especially when the market is dumping. I understand, I'm holding the Bitcoin as well, but after the pump for sure we can see the dump, and after dumping for sure there is a green day coming. Right now the situation is not so good, and we are still on the higher time frame, we are still on the bearish trend. And as soon as the Bitcoin below the $65,000 can continue and retest the low, I'm not so much bearish on the market, but I'm preparing myself. If Bitcoin coming back, I'm looking for a more buy and opening the better long for a longer time, because I believe that if Bitcoin breaking the $67,000, possible to rise up and easily can come back to $90,000, $100,000 or $200,000 or even $1 million. But right now the situation is not so doing good. This is the warm alarm for everyone who holding the Bitcoin. Better to think about that, and better you're making the plan, because possible for Bitcoin to get the sum, shake out the people before we see the moon. That's why everybody thinking that, oh, September is can possible to come back. And to be honest with you, if you be checking the last month, Bitcoin already back to $49,000. We get a huge liquidity on this dump. After that Bitcoin back again to $58,000. Right now also still, as I mentioned before, $58,000 is a key. It can be many times come to $58,000. If I check in the weekly time frame, after the dump Bitcoin immediately back up, and we see the doji candle, and this doji candle help the Bitcoin to rise up again. As I mentioned before, if we want to see something very bullish on the Bitcoin have to take over the $66,000 and $67,000, then yes, possible to see the moon after that. But right now we are still on the bearish trend, and as soon as the Bitcoin below the $66,000, more sell pressure on the market. But we can see right now is still a weekly candle. This weekly candle still is green, and we have 5 more days to close in this candle. If we closing above $58,000, still can possible for a Bitcoin come and retest even mid band around $63,000, and still ping-ponging on this zone between the low band and mid band. Top band is standing around $71,400 almost, and the low band is standing around $54,000, and we can see the gaining more, and still Bitcoin ping-ponging on this pattern. If we checking the MACD on the weekly time frame, we see the still histogram is red and we don't see any cross in the market. But the goodest point is price is higher than a baseline, and I still consider $50,000 is a baseline right now for a Bitcoin to hold. For sure gonna be more buying on this zone because all of the people can see this chart, and if we want to see the moon on the Bitcoin, we need more liquidity on the market, because if we passing the if we passing the $66,000, $67,000, possible for a Bitcoin to come and retest the $70,000. And if I back into my main chart, we see the low band standing on this green box. I mentioned this box many times, and this box, the lower box between the $53,000 and the top box around $56,000. Anyhow, possible for a Bitcoin even don't stop here, but for sure we're gonna be some buying on this zone. If we be breaking the support, definitely possible for a Bitcoin come and retest the $49,000, but this time I don't think it's gonna be a stop, and possible to come easily to $43,000, or for a worse scenario, can possible to for a Bitcoin to come and retest at $38,000. We see on November 2023 we already break this $38,000 and come and retest it, then market move up. Right now also possible for a Bitcoin to come down if we no hold, if we losing the $49,000 again. In the very worst scenario, yes, definitely possible for a Bitcoin come and retest the $43,000 or even $38,000. But as I mentioned before, if Bitcoin back to $68,000, my target is still showing the $90,000 or even $100,000 is still on the table. But we see the market is very bearish right now, and we are still on the largest time frame. Still, we are in the bearish zone. I'm ready if Bitcoin coming down, especially if we be breaking the 53, especially if we be breaking this green box. Very possible, and very quickly and very fast we can come down, and we can see something like this on the market again. If Bitcoin breaking this zone, very possible for a Bitcoin to see much lower price. So many people selling the Bitcoin in here, especially when the Bitcoin breaking the $50,000, and see what happened after that. Bitcoin from $49,000 straight away 18% pump back again, and even go much higher, 32%, to come and retest the $65,000 and then again dump. When we see something bearish candle like this, possible to continue, but still Bitcoin hold above the $58,000, and still there is a hopium, and there is a possible for a Bitcoin back to this green box between the $61,800 or even $63,000, then we dump again. Right now market is very boring, and we can see the dump right now. Even right now I can see the lower time frame 1 hour, we get a dump from 59,200 to the current price around 58,200. If we check in the daily time frame, on the daily time frame also we can see we already clearly rejected from the mid band, and the MACD is still below the baseline, and little bit market is not good. You have to be a little bit be careful, my friend. I'm still thinking possible for a Bitcoin to come and retest the $55,000, and I'm pretty sure so many buy again on this green box. But anyhow, as I mentioned before, if we break in this green box, especially 53,700, is going to be very bad for a Bitcoin, and possible to more continue to the down, and possible to come and retest this low around $49,000 or even mid $40,000. This is the bearish scenario for a Bitcoin. At the same time, I'm not bullish on the market right now, but If Bitcoin back again on the daily time frame, back again to $60,000 and hold above the $60,000, possible to come and retest the 61,000, 63,000, and we can see the top band standing around $64,000 approximately. If we check in the liquidation heat map, we can see the more liquidity standing around 59,000, 57,900 and the top, and on the top we can see the more liquidity around 59,600 and the higher around 60,200. Right now market is not doing good, and if we check in the fear and gradient index, fear is on 26, and yesterday also on 26, last week was 48, and the last month on the 34. Anytime fear is coming lower is good for a buy and good for making the long, but possible for see the Bitcoin on the lower price before we see any move. To be honest with you, I'm already setting my trade around this zone between the $56,000. If Bitcoin back again to this zone, I'm going to be starting to buy again, and I'm going to be covered even to $40,000 because I want to make in the bigger position as possible. For sure we're going to be some buy on this zone, and I'm waiting for this zone to market come down again. I'm not looking for a scalp trading because I'm looking for adding the big money for a bigger trade. That's why I'm not going to be short in here, I'm not going to be long in here, because for me this is not right now very shaky, and for me possible to see the Bitcoin even in $55,000 or $53,000. I mentioned many times this number because keeping in your mind possible for a Bitcoin to come and retest this green box. So this is all about today. Don't forget to like and subscribe and support my channel, and all the best for you, and see you on the next video.